Welcome out, everybody. Welcome out to the For the Record podcast.
What's up?
Myself, DJ 3D, aka Lorenzo. Zoe. My brother, Paul. You're back, Paul?
I'm eating jerky.
I know. My brother, Miguel. What's up? Cuz Hans. And Mrs. Hans in the building.
Mrs. Hans.
Welcome out, everybody. It's going to be a podcast full of interesting ideas. We don't have any.
We don't know. We don't know what we're doing.
We're going to freestyle this one.
Yeah.
I got one, but I mean, it's been a couple of weeks. I just kind of figured we
Let's do it. Tell me so I can
divulge
Google.
into it. The Uvalde shooting. That's the one I want to get into. Because it's a hot topic debate right now, obviously, with the Second Amendment. At the end of the day, like, I first looked into it from a human standpoint. I'm like, man, we lost quite a bit of kids, you know what I mean? Young, haven't started their life yet.
Yep.
And I didn't even want to get into the whole debate about Second Amendment or anything like that. I wanted to first just acknowledge, man, we lost some kids. It's a very, very screwed up world. And I just want to say condolences to everybody out there dealing with it, all the families, the moms, dads that have to go to bed at night without their loved ones.
Yep.
Very, very tragic, man. But it kind of gets into the realm of why we actually are for it, the ability to protect yourself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I get it. We're talking about a school where a lot of the districts don't allow carrying, but we're actually recognizing that there are certain, I want to say, districts that are starting to allow this and becoming more open and about what they've done as far as teachers being allowed to carry, administrators. I want to get y'all's thought on that. You know.
I think when Parkland happened, Parkland, Florida, that's really when Texas started looking at. It's called a school marshals program. Mm-hmm. That's the program where they allow the teachers to carry. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a whole extensive background check that needs to be done in psych evals and everything, just to make sure that they're mentally sound to actually carry a gun on campus. Mm. So nobody knows their identity. And Paul, really?
I caught it.
Really? Nobody knows that they're carrying them or anything, because at first there was the debate of them having their firearm locked up in the classroom while they had students in there. Well, that kind of defeats the whole purpose. Right. So I want to say...
That's common sense, ma'am.
Stupid. I want to say a couple years ago, they actually did away with that. Like, they did away with them having to have it locked away or whatever. But that is the school marshals program here in Texas that they are allowing them to do that. And they post a signage outside too. It's pretty cool.
And more specifically, these are not teachers that are forced to carry.
No, you have to sign up to do it. And then, like I said, you go through all the background checks, the psych evals and all of that in order to, your district is the only one that's like, okay, we're going to be involved in this program. Because there's two different options that they have. It was either the school marshals program where they allow their teachers to carry, or the other program was assigning an SRO, a student resource officer, to the campuses. So for elementary kids, I think it was like one officer for every 2 campuses. Elementary was one officer for every 4 campuses. Middle school was one officer for every 2 campuses. And the high school had to have a designated officer all the time. So
that's interesting.
I think this whole thing proved, like, points on both sides. Mm-hmm. So, like, because there was, like, armed guards to the teeth, right? Or not guards, officers, right? Mm-hmm. And they did nothing. The left won. They say, well, it doesn't matter about your good guys with the gun, right? Because what did they do?
Yeah.
They did nothing, right? But then it kind of, they cancel each other out, because at the same time, it's one of those things where on the right, we say, well, this is why we should carry, right? I don't want to put my life in their hands.
Right.
Because 90 minutes.
That's a long time. That's ridiculous.
90 minutes.
Was ridiculous.
What was the mindset of the person who went in there? Was the officer who had been off duty at the barbershop getting a haircut.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Got a firearm, right? Border Patrol agent. Went in there, for one, strictly because his wife and kids were part of the actual school that was in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you take that emotional aspect, You apply that to a law-abiding citizen and a trained marksman. Forget that he's an officer, right? This guy trains and does the due diligence he needs to make sure he can protect his family, but also protect others. Went in there head first without any kind of,
hesitation, reservation, anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, he just went in there. Yeah.
Went in there, no holds barred, and came out, on top with the win.
And then I don't know, man. To me, the whole thing was kind of wonky, man. Like from the get go, right? When all the reports, and then they changed, and then the police chief or whatever his name was, Arredondo, the one that made the call to not go in, steps down, and then he doesn't want to help with the investigation. They don't want to release body cam footage because they don't want to be embarrassed. Like, dude, all kinds of. To me, it's like reaffirming, right? This should open teachers' eyes. This should tell people, like, dude, you don't have to, but it's in your best interest, right? To me, that's just like I would tell anybody, you don't have to carry. Don't go get your license if you don't want to get your license, right? But you should, right? I mean, for me, even now that I'm super pro Second Amendment, I don't believe in being licensed, right? Like, I don't think we should have to, but the option's there.
Right.
Like right now, especially here in Texas, right? You don't have to if you want to carry now, but it's there, and me and you both agree reciprocity is a thing, right? So it's kind of cool to have it and not need it, right? Than to not have it and need it, and then you're screwed. I mean, at this point.
Yeah, because we traveled across state lines, knowing that I had my license helped me in those states that obviously we don't live in.
Right.
Yeah.
Helped me cross those states. Shout out to Tennessee, though. They don't have they have constitutional carry.
Yeah, they do have constitutional carry.
But yeah, it's one of those things, man. Like I said, it was kind of, obviously it was lose-lose. The loss of life, the cops that didn't do what they were supposed to do for whatever reason. I don't know, man. The whole thing was just shitty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And watching people attack the Second Amendment. And not even really, that's funny because it's not. They're becoming a little more calculated. They're not really attacking the Second Amendment anymore. Right now, it's all about the AR-15.
Yes.
And actually, it's almost not even just about that. They want semi-automatic rifles.
Right.
Right?
Which is all.
Right.
Almost.
Yeah, that's all.
For sure.
99%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but it kind of goes into our thinking, right? It won't stop.
Yeah. Not at all.
Because when they ban the AR-15s, right, or they ban
Well, look at what happened when they banned the bump stock or whatever. They put that ban on that. Like, now we're at AR-15s. Because at first it was like, oh, it was the bump stock. It's the bump stock.
If they put a ban, if you have one, what happened?
Well, they can't now. So there's a lot going on with the Supreme Court.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
about
me
this.
too. I mean, dude, they're solidifying our Second Amendment rights, and
They did it in California.
they're
Wow.
expanding on
okay.
yeah. So like right now, the biggest thing that's happened is they have the two different states, right? The shall issue and the may issue states. So shall is any state that creates a regulation for firearms, like Texas before we were constitutional. So long as you jump through their hoops and paid their fines and did what they did, they shall issue you the your license, right? But California, New York, they were may issues. In New York, the reason the Supreme Court solidified it and made the decision was they had this law that you couldn't just get a concealed license to get one. You had to have just cause.
Right.
So you had to like prove that your life was in danger in order to get the concealed carry, right? But none of us know, right? Like you could be the one day that you drive off or that you cross the street in New York, right? Because most of their shit is walking, bikes, subways and stuff like that. But the one day that you need it, right? What do? And so the Supreme Court struck that whole thing down and they left it to the state. They can still regulate. You can still have licenses and stuff like that. They just can't restrict it in any way, shape, or form. So all those may issue states became, well, they have to. Right. And there's still states that are defying.
And a side issue, right? So like I went to Chicago a couple of years back. And mind you, this is a congested state. Like, traffic is really bad in the inner city, which they have train stations, you know what I mean? Underground subway stations. And if that's the case, right? Someone here in Texas, you can drive anywhere you want, right? Yes, it's congested, but we don't have any other means of transportation.
Right.
If I got to take the Red Line, right, which is one of the subway stations, and not protect myself in the middle of the night. And that's the only form of transportation I can have that benefits me and my family. And I can't protect myself then, bro. I walked into some crazy characters at night.
Oh, I'm
It
sure.
was pretty.
I believe
It was
it.
nerve
Especially
wracking. Mind
over
you,
there.
I'm a grown adult, right? But at the end of the day, like I can't protect myself. Something
Downtown San
happens.
Antonio, the VIA system, bro. There's some wackos out there. Like
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
drive through and I'm watching them on the side of the road. That and hey, it's the way they get around. It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But like you said, downtown is kind of small enough that you could walk pretty much anywhere.
Right.
There's scooters and stuff like that. But when you're talking one side of town to the other in a state like Chicago or New York where they have that subway system, you want to use it, but
The state of Chicago.
The state of Chicago.
Yeah, man. I really had to take a step back. I'm like, before we even talk about this subject again, it's a loss of life. You know what I mean? It's kids, and it's a very touchy subject. Most people run to their emotions and
I
start
was gonna
thinking
say
about
it's not.
everything.
It's really not though. I mean, because it's like that one video, the TikTok that I sent with the guy talking about the Second Amendment, right? And when they get emotional and they play on your heart, and he says, how many people say how many kids have to die before we do something? The sad answer is every single child, every single person. Because if not, then we're fighting for the Second Amendment for no reason, right? We have to defend it. Life, liberty, death. Like it is what it property. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. If we don't defend it with our lives, then it was for nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if they figure out a way to ban, well, now, like I said, it's kind of hard now. But if they had figured out a way to pin the Second Amendment down, then those kids died for no reason.
Right.
Truthfully, because then at this point, we're dependent on Big Brother. We're waiting for them, right?
Yeah.
Those 90 minutes turn into 180 minutes. Like like it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. And then it's funny that these same liberals that are crying about the Second Amendment, blah 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 blah, guns, defund the police, take away their resources.
Yeah.
So what are we supposed to depend on?
And then when you have that, you'll have a Kyle Rittenhouse case, right? An individual person was using their right to defend themselves, and you still don't like it. Why? Because you don't believe this person has the right to defend himself. Most cases, they're like, "Oh, he wasn't defending himself." Who's someone to defend themselves against 5-6 people with an AR-15?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's for.
Yeah.
If-
Well, and that's the other argument, right? I'm so tired, especially. I mean, I've been watching so much of this dumb shit. Everybody, these weapons that were made to kill a large number of people. Every fucking weapon was made to kill people.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter what
Yeah.
kind of weapon. They were all their one intention was to kill. End of story.
Yeah.
So like they say it like the AR-15 kills in a certain way that no other gun does. You know what I mean? And when you think about the round itself, especially a 223,
Right.
You're shooting a 22 caliber bullet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're completely taken away, but they throw out all this
And that doesn't even matter too, because it's the velocity that's killing people. Like,
for sure. Well, that and
Because
that
if I throw
round,
the bullet at you, it's
Yeah.
not going to kill you.
yeah, but that round though, like when you shoot a 22 round, it has the tendency to bounce, right? As opposed to like a 45 or a 357, like that's gonna go through, penetrate, and blow out the other end, right? Just like Paul. But its job is to go through and go out the other end, right? The 22 is a unique round because it bounces, man. Any little bone, any little thing inside of you, it'll scramble your insides, right? Like, so, but they throw out these. Look at Paul; he's real quiet over there. Well, that's why I call it a 22, Paul. But it's just they throw out these little facts, but they do it at a time when people are
Emotionals
hurt,
are
their
high.
emotions, yeah.
So you know what pisses me off about this whole situation is everybody went straight to the gun debate, right? So like
Always.
in my career of choice, right? I'm thinking, why wasn't there an officer there, right? Like they knew. Okay, so when there's police activity in the area, usually you get a heads up from somebody.
Right.
Somebody tells you there's police activity in the area, you shut down the school.
We just had that a few days ago.
We did We did. That happened super quick. I was super proud.
Yeah, but we're on
what
high alert
happened.
now. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
yeah,
so
that's
I wonder.
the only reason that happened.
I wonder
though.
how the scenario would have played out the other day here when you got with me. I wonder how that would have played out had Uvalde not happened. Right. Like it's always one of those things where like, dude, we're just
you get comfortable.
Yeah, we're complacent.
Happened.
It hasn't happened here, right? Then all of a sudden it happens, an hour and a half away from here, and say, that's too close to home.
Yeah.
But it's again, dude, we live in this time where we don't have a choice anymore. This is happening.
Right.
It's not one of those things that they like to say like, oh, okay, well, it's happening, so we should do nothing, right? We should not regulate guns anymore. There's nothing to regulate, right? You can't regulate. You can't make a law that makes an evil person not evil, right? They're gonna do what they do. Yeah, exactly. Whatever's in their heart. So like, it's crazy. I wonder how that would have played out because she was on the shit. Like, it was pretty crazy to.
Yeah, it was nuts how we got the report that there was a shooting in the area. They were looking for the shooting. That was what we got.
The shooter.
And everybody immediately started moving. Like, it was great. Like, the entire compound locked down. Like, not just a campus. Like, the entire compound. Like, that's a big ass compound to shut down. But yeah, they did. Everybody moved. All the officers got into place at every single entrance. Like, not even just like the main entrances. Every single entrance was blocked off. So it was pretty interesting.
Aren't you glad you worked on all those radios the day before?
Well, yeah. Oh my God.
Imagine everybody's low battery.
Stupid radios. Yeah. But like, so back to Uvalde, right? So like, when all of that stuff happened, like, I immediately thought to myself, like, why didn't they get a call to shut everything down? Right. Yeah. So that's where my concern is. Like, everybody wants to talk about the gun debate. Why is there no funding for these campuses to, how do they call it? Harden their schools is what it's called.
Paul does that for free.
Stupid. Like, there's no funding for that. The campus has to find grants. The campus or the district has to find grants in order to do it. And even then, the money that they give them is only enough to do 2 or 3 schools. Right. Like, why is the government not funding that? We can go through and we can build prisons. We can provide security for the prisons. We can give fences and all that to the prisons. But our kids, we can't defend them the same way.
It's worse than that. We can send billions of dollars to Ukraine.
Yeah.
But we can't.
So the citizens can arm themselves.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we can't protect our own children.
The irony in that.
It's fucking retarded.
And then too, a lot of times there's not accountability within the campus, right? Because truthfully, you're supposed to have your doors closed at all times. Your doors are supposed to be able to lock at all times. Like, you shouldn't be able to get into the classroom ever. So like, why were the doors not closed? Why were they not locked? How did this happen?
Right.
Like,
they don't want to focus on all the nitty gritty. Right. It's just guns.
Yeah.
Right.
It was all
guns.
That's
the problem.
Guns.
Not what happened from the start to the end. Right. Internally. Right. Because even me from the outside, right, I start looking at things since that happened. I'm like, man, this school is like wide open. Like, people just walk into this place,
it's
right?
taxpayer funded. So
sure.
Someone like me, even though I went to the district, I can just walk on campus and go to the fields and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, and that's fine, but close them off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the elementary school, you can get from the field to the elementary school. There's no gate that divides it. Right. Close it off. The secondary high school, cast, close it off. Why is it wide open? The high school, it's an open campus. You can get from one side of the campus to the other side of the campus because athletics is on the opposite side of the compound.
But the honest truth to your question too is to me, it's just like my deal with churches. Like, it's a business. Churches on this side of town look like shit. Go to the north side. There ain't no Catholic church on the north side that looks like any church out here. They're built up because people are, they're taking money and they're doing what they do. So look at the schools. You know what I mean? Look at Judson compared to Southwest, right? Like a fraction of our school.
We could say any business because,
well, for sure.
What restaurant do we go out here that we won't go to the north side to go, something a little nicer,
for sure.
Date night. I want to take you.
I'll go to Chick-fil-A away from here because, The one on the south side sucks, and the one on the southeast side, they're rude.
Yeah, so
Dude, I will go all the way to New Braunfels for that smile, and my pleasure.
I believe them when they say
I
it.
know. On the south side, I'm like, is it though? Is it your
Is
pleasure?
it really?
But I mean, again, though, at least we're talking about kids and this whole situation. Like, man, you know, again, dude, to me, it all boils down to the nitty gritty, right? Who's gonna be held accountable where, right? Like, eventually, somebody has to say.
And the ones you'd figured be accountable are like, well, we're gonna step down.
Nah, they're pointing fingers
Yeah.
and walking away, right?
Yeah.
All that nitty gritty, the funding, right? The Crystal's talking about. What else? I just had something on my mind and I had a binding moment.
Line.
You just say, you know the thing.
Yeah,
man.
you know the
You
thing,
know the
man,
thing, man.
with the money and the kids.
You fell off the bike. Come on.
But yeah, no, that was like I guess that was like my immediate thought when this all happened. Like,
I didn't want to be
It
that person
was-
that ran to social media and start posting everything. I was just like, let me digest everything.
There's really nothing to though.
And,
You know
yeah,
what I
there's
mean? It's just
nothing.
people like that drama in their lives,
Right.
right? So like
Yeah.
even Southwest, right? Let's get on the fucking chain gang, right? We're gonna make sure we stand with Uvalde and blah blah blah, right? It's like, just don't make it play like if you really want to help, just go send them some fucking money or like do something, right? Like, I don't know, like, but everybody's quick, like you said, social media, right? Oh my God, my heart goes out. That was the other thing though too that kind of like threw me for a loop. The parents and the kids that they interviewed from the school, like, who does that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was reading articles that like 2 days later the parents were on like the morning show or whatever talking about their kids being gone, and I'm like, dude,
Well, the little girl that said she covered herself with her friend's
Right.
blood.
Yeah.
How can you interview someone like that? Especially,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Money.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Money
Yeah,
and again,
exactly.
if they play on heartstrings, right? You see this little girl, you feel bad. It's a baby girl.
yeah.
It's that much easier to get people
What is
on board.
what is Colion? What's his name?
Colion
What
Noir.
does he say? You can't let
Never let a
Tragedy
tragedy,
go to
go to
waste.
waste.
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah,
You can't, dude. And this is where we're at now. You know, they're gonna rip down the entire school. They're gonna build a brand new school. It's all government
did you
funded.
see that HEB donated like $10 million
Jarvis is gonna Tommy's
to
company.
build a new campus
Yeah.
that they're gonna turn this site into a memorial.
And again, like I'm all for it. It's just there was just too many little weird things, right?
But here's the funny part, right? Why can't that happen to schools today without
Right.
that happening?
Right.
For sure.
Why
Exactly.
can't-
Why
right.
can't you give money to
Right.
the districts without
Especially
and that's
out
my
there.
point. Like that is 100% my point, because so I go to these conferences, right? They're like school safety conferences and stuff like that, and we have all kinds of vendors out there. You know, vendors showing off their emergency management, vendors showing off their, metal detectors and gunshot detectors and all kinds of stuff. But it costs so much money to implement that in one school, let alone
But that's why
19
they do it.
campuses.
Yeah, that's why they do
You know?
it though.
It's like, dude, like if you really want to help with this, why are you charging us so much money to do this?
Because the government. I'm gonna be like Joe Biden. Because the government.
It's kind of like
They're funding it.
it's kind of like insurance policies. Right?
Exactly.
If I can charge you a premium, even if you're just going to come in and get a small little wellness check, if I can charge a premium instead of the private pay,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? A private pay maybe cost you $120 to walk in, get a wellness check.
Oh my God,
everything
yes.
the works. But if it's under insurance, maybe they charge the insurance about $500. Take your little copay, and we'll do the works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's subsidizing. That's it, dude. And when the government, again, dude, when we sit back and wait for them to fix it, you know what I mean? Like, dude, they could have, like Crystal said, they could have fixed this a long time ago, right? Any one of the school shootings leading up to this could have been like, you know what, we really got to focus on getting these schools, right? Like the whole left side right now complaining about infrastructure, right? Wanting to rebuild and retrofit the entire fucking world to be more green, and we can't lock down schools properly, right? We have no protocol and no accountability for even when it happens, you know what I mean? Because like, to me, I think I mean, partly it's human error, right? So like she says, why this, why that, why we all can agree. even if we carry every day, you never know what you're gonna do
Right.
when a situation presents
Yeah.
itself. So if it's her job and it's solely her job, right, to watch cameras and watch things and it's happening in real time, and then she goes into mom mode and she thinks about the boys, I'm just throwing out a situation, right? She stops focusing on what's going on and my boys. Then everybody's like, well, what happened to the girl? Like, where, you know what I mean? Like, you just don't know.
User error.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's part of being human, right? But again,
That's
like,
why Elon Musk is making robots to replace us all. You take the human error part out of it. Isn't that how it happened in
Error.
iRobot?
Error. Sometimes the
I'm sorry.
protected must be protected. Or what did they say?
Yes.
The protector must. I don't
The
know.
protector must be protected. Something like that.
I don't know.
It's scary because I mean, like you, Paul, you have a child who's going to enter school soon. I mean, you got to worry about that.
Homeschool, bro.
Well, even now he's in daycare, so it's still scary.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why is he in daycare for? You work from home.
He has to learn too. I don't want to be like you.
Well, again, like
That's
he's
very
gonna
true.
be focusing on his work.
Yeah,
Nah.
he's
Yeah.
gotta work.
He doesn't work.
But when he does work,
You want to see our text message
robot.
threads?
Paul, you need a
5
robot,
a.m.
5 a.m.
a robot nanny.
there you go.
Paul
Get him a
tried to-
robot.
Luna can teach him.
Paul tried
Luna's
to.
smarter than
you go.
both of us. But yeah, dude, I couldn't even imagine, bro. I couldn't imagine
Yeah,
having
no,
kids
that's
nowadays. All right, we're on the last 4 years for both boys. And
you need to have a kid.
No, don't do that.
that. Get a
Did
dog.
you not just see like the last 5 months of this world, and you want me to
Yeah.
bring a kid into this world?
No.
I don't know, man.
Never mind that, right? It that's bad, but everything else is just piling. The shit is just piling. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, if you want to transition,
Well,
like,
it's bad enough that like the world's saying I can't do anything to protect my kid. Now, if I want to do it my way, obviously I have a set of rules, regulations, and ideologies. What if later on you decide to take my kid because I'm teaching them these ideologies?
well, I know, and that's that's where
So
we're headed.
Yeah.
where's my kid anyways?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But and that's kind of where I was going. Like that did we talk about that already? The documentary.
The What is a Woman?
Yeah.
No, we
haven't,
haven't.
Well, we all
haven't
watched it,
talked
right?
about
You
it.
watched it?
So, but that's what I'm saying. So then
I loved it.
then even that is being forced on these kids, right? Like, and it's
So the guy from Canada, the one they were interviewing over the phone.
yeah, they
Yes.
put him in jail and
Took his
fined
kid.
him, took his kid.
Oh yeah, that
Because he didn't want to go give them hormone blockers and
Mm-hmm.
affirm the gender that they want to be. And it's like, bro, there was that one guy, I don't know what his name is and I don't know who he is, but he was going around saying, dude, I'm not transgender or I'm not transphobic. I'm not homophobic. I'm not none of those things. What I am is anti you pushing your shit on my kid. Like, there's nothing out there that says that you can just come and tell my kid how you are and why you are the way you are. But like, man, we saw the documentary, dude. There are teachers out there that are making it their points, right? They're not going to school to teach these kids anything. They're teaching them these stupid standardized testing.
And watch TikTok enough.
Oh,
You'll
bro,
find
it's
first
there,
grade,
dude.
kindergarten teachers that are out there saying, "I don't care what my district says. I'm teaching these kids."
Yeah, about
Yeah.
sexuality, about gender, about acceptance, about bullshit. Like, it's just I don't get it. I don't understand where and how the school is just sitting back. Schools are just sitting back, right? I don't know. I think we need to get
because I think if they say something, the people will go after them.
I mean, for sure. Look at
Well,
the
that
teammates.
there's already a shortage in teachers right now. Like, they can't keep teachers after the COVID thing or whatever. They can't keep teachers or anything. So instead of disciplining them the way they should,
but
they're not saying anything to them.
I also think, though, it's kind of like the standardized testing thing. I think if more teachers push back, parents would back them. Like right now, because the teachers sit back and they say, like, well, it's our job, right? Like, we have to do what the state tells us to do. But if more teachers push back, and like, because parents already want to push back, right? But it usually stops at the teacher. You go and, your teacher says something to you about your kid and he's not passing, right? Like right now, they have this stupid thing where if they don't pass the test, the next year they have like 30 hours of like sitting in front of a computer with a bunch of multiple choice things that these kids don't even care about. They don't pay attention to. It does nothing. But anyway,
They don't even have to pass it. They just have to go through the 30 hours.
And that's the other thing, right? Is this whole standardized testing. Like, it's stupid to me because you can literally get to 12th grade, drop out, and go get your GED, and you never have to take that test. And you would be right in track on where you were. You don't get to walk the stage, right?
Right.
But nowadays, who cares?
I didn't walk. I graduated and I didn't walk the stage.
Well, but I'm saying, like, to me, I think back 10, 15 years, maybe 20 years ago, it was a thing.
Back in my day.
It was a thing, dude. But nowadays,
You've been out of school for 20 years, honey.
I know. But it was a thing. Like, it was a thing to be proud of. But nowadays, man, that piece of paper doesn't mean you can't even wipe your ass with it.
20. Don't make them sound younger.
It is? Did I say 20?
Yeah, it's 20.
Yeah.
I just hit 20. Shut up, Paul.
Just hit 20 years.
2002.
Even a college degree today, people are not even proud of it.
Yeah.
They're just
Well,
like,
and
yeah,
that's
whatever.
because it's all super fucking crybaby, left-handed puppetry, fucking stupid shit, right?
I can agree with
But
that.
it's all like I said, dude, the paper that they print this shit on, dude, like if you wipe your ass with it, you get in touch with yourself. It means nothing, dude. Like it just it means nothing, dude. Like they don't even print it on like badass cardstock anymore, dude. It's just you can hold it up and like
Oh, it's transparent. You know?
on the old projector sheets. it's just dry erase markers.
Expo marker.
You're stupid.
That's kind of where I give this new generation of kids like a little bit of fucking credit. Like not all of them, but a lot of them are fucking wising up to like, fuck college. What am I gonna go to college for? Right? They promise all this shit, but I leave in fucking debt, or they see that their mom or their dad is in fucking debt, right?
Or at least the ones that have to pay for it themselves.
Well, for sure. And
If
that's
mom
what-
and daddy pay for it, I'm gonna go party.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Never paid for me to go to college and party. Jerks.
Paul, did you pay for college?
Yeah, till his president fucking gave him a break.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why he's a Biden supporter now. Daddy Biden paid for his college.
I got lucky.
Now you can afford an apartment. You can afford the gas in your Hellcat.
It's just a generational thing. I mean,
Is it though?
yeah, like in the 2000s, early 2000s, 2010s, it was like, well, go to school, get in debt, get a job, become a worker, and you'll be successful, and whatever that means. And it's all made up. It's not even a real thing. Because what does that even mean? Success. What does failure mean? What is that? Like we all make it up, and we just agree upon. Well, I'm a success because of this, because of that. Or I'm a failure because I didn't do this and I didn't do that. But who gets to set that standard of what's an accomplishment?
Well, I mean, society.
Yeah.
Like if you've got money, then you're successful, right? Or in most people's eyes, right? If you've
I got a
made
few
it,
bucks.
hey, dude,
I got $2.
I got an Apple Watch.
I have $1 in my truck. I have an actual dollar.
I have a $2 bill
Ooh.
in my piggy bank.
Look at you.
I have this cool purple pig.
It's got lint, but
It makes me feel successful.
support cryptocurrency.
I'm over that.
Paul, what happened?
Paul, what happened, Paul?
Remember he was all, man, this is the biggest thing
To
ever.
the moon. Looks like that it hit the ceiling.
What happened?
I have no idea.
There's still people believing that it's going to take off like in the next 5 years.
I don't know about
Well,
the
if
next
it
5
does,
years.
and they better buy now because it's so low.
In the next 5 years, I doubt it, but it's gonna happen. Like they're pushing,
Eventually, yes.
yeah, for sure.
Eventually, yes.
That's why I keep saying, like, people aren't seeing, like, when you go to the gas stations and you see gas, right, and it's flipping between
Cash and
and credit, right? To me, it's the new tax system. You know what I mean? We're if we get away from cash,
They're
but you still
incentivizing
have
you.
exactly to go digital. It's like the iPhones right now. Arizona and Maine, maybe the two states that you can have the digital ID on your phone. There's two
That's
states.
really cool.
It's cool, but
Or
they're
like
your driver's license.
Okay, driver's
can be,
license.
yeah, can be. Right now, it's only still 2 states, but I mean, again, once they transition everybody to not carry a physical wallet anymore.
I'm just going to show a screenshot. Like, trying to get into a bar. Screenshot.
No, sir, that's not gonna work.
just telling me it's time to go to bed.
No, mine already did.
Apple controls your mind.
For sure. Like it's there. But I'm okay with it now. I've accepted it.
I've accepted it. I accept that.
Here we are talking about fighting the system. He's all, I'm okay with it.
Well, because I don't really have too much faith in humanity anymore. Like as far as being able to fight. You know what I mean? Like,
well, not like here's a funny. We were talking about this the other day, and I know y'all are not into the whole biblical aspect. There's a part in scripture where it talks about how Moses obviously was there to remove the slaves from Egypt, right, from the land of Egypt. And it talks about there was a time where people just said, you know what, bro, let's just go back. Like you're talking about enslaved people free, and they're like, let's just go back. It was easier. We had a object to do, right? We got up, we went to work, we did certain things, we got paid. We went home.
We had housing, we had food.
Exactly.
Right?
So they were okay with being enslaved to a institution, despite the fact that, yes, it wasn't the best for them. But in their mind, it was the best for them.
It was better than traveling and getting nowhere, doing nothing.
So I get it. It kind of, like you said, right? Some people are just like, I'll get to getting.
Yeah. I just close my eyes. I just close my eyes and go back to the Matrix. Like, I don't.
I just had deja vu.
What?
I'm gonna do it.
Did I win the lottery?
Oh, please say yes.
Oh, he's all no.
Yes, me.
No. That was stupid.
I'm gonna go bankrupt in 2 years. Commit suicide in 3.
Who enjoys seeing people cry about the overturn of Roe versus Wade?
They all have colored hair too. It's funny.
Half of them don't even like dick to complain about like how are you so angry? That's like somebody that's complaining about them trying to take away guns, but you don't own one, you've never shot one, you don't even care, you're just like, stop, not my gun. But you don't own a gun. So it's like these people that are like, oh, babies. I'm like, you don't like dick to get pregnant, so who gives a shit? I don't know.
There was the irony, because I look at it from both abortion and the Second Amendment aspect, right? There was a lady who put out on a little whiteboard, she wrote, abortion is going to happen whether you remove it or not. And I'm like, same thing about firearms, right? It's going to happen whether you want it to or not.
It's already happening.
Whether you ban it or not.
Like murder, whether by gun or by a doctor's hand.
Yeah.
If it's illegal and they're still doing it, what fucking difference does it make? People are crying that they got to go a state over when there's companies. What was it? They just shared
yeah, it was quite a bit.
a letter from that Dick's Sporting Goods that they'd pay like 4 G's to somebody.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
They gotta run out of money.
Like the one on the south side.
They barely have anything right now.
The one on the south side. Like, fuck, dude, they put us out of business. These girls can't close their legs.
Ironically, it's called dicks.
Or like that one girl that wasn't it you that posted it? Did she's single or some shit in order to go on a date or something like that? You have to have a vasectomy. Well, good luck with that, ho. Or this one guy that was it was on TikTok. He was like, all these women out here talk about my body, my choice. Where's my foreskin at? He was like, I was just a little guy. I didn't say yes to that. Cut off my foreskin. Oh man, poor fucking dude. I don't know, dude. It's kind of a funny situation. Like, I just like how they can't stop comparing it to like the Second Amendment.
I was gonna post this video, but I couldn't find it because when you refresh TikTok, it's gone. It's gone forever.
Unless you watched it all the way through, I'll show you how to like find it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he says.
I just told Miguel that the other day. I was like, they need a history, like.
Oh, they have a history.
You know,
they know what kind of dirty stuff you watch.
all my timeline was all day long was 2 things, right? It was
Men.
if you don't have a uterus, you have no say so, right? Mm-hmm. And then secondary was
My AirPods.
was just one-sided argument of why this is a bad thing from women. Mind you, the video I saw was all women celebrating this. It was a big accomplishment for them. Why are they discredited? Women who are speaking up saying this needs to be overturned.
Right.
Why are they being discriminated against?
Well, it's the same thing of like the black justice, right? Who wrote forget how their little process works, right? But because he had a hand in the overturning, right? All of a sudden his black life don't matter no more. Like people want his head. Yep. Whoopi Goldberg going on there, but you better hope they don't come for you because of your white wife and blah blah blah.
Oh, Whoopi's weird.
She's a fucking weirdo, dude. She needs to get off the TV already. She's like 80 pounds, like in her head. She's so weird, man. She comes up with some shit that just it's off the wall. Right. But like again, dude, when you don't fit their little narrative, their little fucking deal, they come after you. So the women that should be speaking up for women's rights, they're speaking for their rights as women, and they're being shit on.
Right. That's one thing that I saw that was very I was like, man, here's this woman who put out her perspective, right? She agreed with everything that happened as far as Roe v. Wade, and the comment section were just destroying her. And they're all women, right? Yeah. Women crapping on other women.
Did you just assume all their genders?
I did.
I don't know. I have some dudes on my
well, we know about
you did
timeline that
you did have some dudes on your timeline.
They were more gung ho than the women.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And like I truthfully, I don't get it, bro. Like,
and in a time where people are upset about the democracy, right? Why can't we have a vote, right? Why is it the Supreme Court gets to choose? Well, they did the reversal. They gave you that power back,
right,
to make a decision.
Well, we don't have that issue.
Oh my god!
But it's funny though when it comes to the Second Amendment. Why are we saying? How come we don't get a vote? Right? We say the same exact thing. Why does the Supreme Court or the ATF or some random ass fucking alphabet company get to say, "Oh, this piece of plastic doesn't fucking it's a deadly weapon. It's the bump stock. It's now it's a firearm. You can't have it no more." Where was our vote, right?
Right.
My gun, my choice. Like, fucking get out of here with that shit.
We had talked about this the last time. Here we are. We had 9 white men deciding that, we can have
Roe
this.
v. Wade was the thing.
And everyone was okay with it.
Yeah.
Women in
With
particular
those white
were
men.
like, yes,
Yeah.
white men were fighting for us. Look at every time any kind of civil rights movement, it was always the white person who kind of really helped push this along the way. Slavery. You know what I mean? Like, white men had some kind of deal to help push this forward. And now you have, okay, let's push the white men aside. Let's get more variety, right? And now we have variety, right? We have a black justice. We have, I believe, a Hispanic justice now.
Mayor.
Oh,
yeah. And then you have
her name is. There's another.
And there's an Asian, I believe, right? Or Asian descent, I want to say. Could be wrong. Anyways, either way, it's not just white.
And the first female black just got sworn in.
Right. And now we have it overturned.
Yep.
But you're okay with all white men saying that it was okay.
Well, yeah, because they were in their favor.
Right.
So for all these years that a Democratic Supreme Court has been ruling and doing this stupid shit, interpreting the Constitution the way they wanted it to, right? To make laws, like, just suck it up like we did. Now all of a sudden it's our turn. They're not interpreting. They're reading the laws, or they're reading the Constitution as it was written, right? Shall not be infringed. And even then they're still not, because they're still allowing some regulation.
That's the argument I was trying to have with you. We try to shut it down. Exegesis versus eisegesis. Reading it as the author intended, or reading it as you want to interpret. So I get what you're saying. I'm agreeing with you in a sense,
Okay.
But now you're
I'm not
separating.
catching the.
Yeah. So this was a conversation.
I remember
in
the
Tennessee,
conversation,
right?
for sure.
So that's the separation of what I'm trying to get you to say. Right now, you're agreeing with what I was saying. Eisegesis versus exegesis. It's the interpretation based on the author's perspective, not perspective, intent. Versus I read this and I think this is what it sounds like. But in order to have that, you have to have the full length ideology, right? Again, shall not be infringed. The whole ideology is you can't mess with this. I don't care what your interpretation is. It's verbatim, shall not be infringed. Now, you can take it and say, well, it really doesn't mean that, but does it? Absolutely it does. It literally says it verbatim. So that's what we're saying. Articulate based on the author's intent. That's basically what the justices are supposed to be doing.
Right.
Articulating based on the way it's written.
That's the other thing. Did you see that shit that just happened in California? The Attorney General's office released a web. There was a link to a website that doxed every gun owner. Well, the concealed carry.
Oh, yeah, for
list.
the
There's a
list
real
over the
problem
last
with
10
that.
years or something.
There's a real problem with that.
What?
That there was a leak in the California licensing
The Attorney
department
General's
for
office.
guns. So all of that got leaked. Like
So
everybody
in California,
that owns,
the names of every licensed gun owner that was issued a license to carry, concealed carry, is leaked. So
Phone number, name,
with
phone
addresses.
number,
Oh.
names, addresses.
They were doxed, as they say nowadays.
Yep.
and truthfully, even in that deal, social security numbers is on there, license numbers, like all of that shit is in there.
May I have a gum?
Yes,
Oh, you have gum?
of course.
We're on a podcast. You're not
Right,
supposed to chew
because
gun.
I know. That's
Because this is hard and I don't want it to hit you in the face.
he'll love it. He's all do it.
I just want to make sure you're ready to catch it, Paul.
Paul's all bad. He's a mouth open or closed? I don't like surprises.
Oh, don't throw it back at me. Just pass it down because I won't catch it.
He's all la 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 la.
But yeah, anyway.
ASMR.
I love the sound when you open up and
You give it to one person, you got to give it to everybody.
Chris was all no.
I'm talking about
What?
the gum.
I missed it.
I'm out of drink.
Gum and podcast don't mix.
Gummin podcast don't
You're
miss?
gonna be all,
Okay. I don't know.
He goes, oh, you talked me out of
Wait
it.
till after.
I haven't eaten. I'm still
my
fasting.
body, my choice.
You didn't say that last night.
What'd y'all think about Jurassic World?
It was trash.
It was slow.
It was the
It
whole
sucked.
point of the movie was about crickets.
The locust?
Yeah, or locusts,
Crickets.
whatever. That was
Grasshoppers.
the dumbest
full.
plot ever.
I mean, the whole movie since the second fucking Jurassic Park, Junior's all, fuck all y'all. I didn't even get
I
to go
know.
watch it.
Sorry.
Oh, thank you, by the way.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Alright,
thank you.
Thank you.
It was, I don't know. It wasn't
Come on, when
like,
I get a chance, I need.
let me seal this deal, cuz. I don't know. It wasn't like completely horrible. It wasn't like to me, like when I remember seeing the first fucking Jurassic Park, like that was when I still believed in like Santa Claus.
But Jurassic World, the first one.
The first one was
yeah.
pretty decent.
I know you're not on the same page as me, but in our belief system, dinosaurs are real.
No, they're not. Sure not.
You just saw them on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Dinosaurs are real.
Okay, sure they are.
So you don't think dinosaurs are real?
I think not in the like full capacity of what we've been told they are.
I think they had feathers too.
Well, yeah.
You know,
derived from birds and
a pterodactyl is not a dinosaur.
What is it?
Look it up.
What is it?
Pterodactyl is not a
I
dinosaur.
don't even
Hey,
know how to
Siri.
spell
I was
pterodactyl.
pissed off when I learned that.
Pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl.
I don't know the rest. I forgot.
The pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl.
I was gonna say anything with the P is not real, but that's my name.
It was a TikTok little 5-year-old tells his dad, you know, pterodactyl is not a dinosaur. I was like, what?
I mean, again, I think it's all fucking made up bullshit.
So you're telling me I spent $30 on a
Non-dinosaur.
non-dinosaur for Levi?
Why do you think it's such a great business? Go to the Whitty Museum and ask them
go.
ask
I
them
wanna
if
go.
the skeletons they have there are real. If it's real bone
The what?
I've been
at
there
any
20 years.
museum,
Oh, then
Well, a lot of it.
made up.
Yeah.
You see how stupid you sound right now?
But like 80% of it's real.
Negative, sir. No bone that's in a dinosaur fucking exhibit is real. It's not.
Not in every.
No, not in any.
Not in every.
Not in any. I promise you. Go to any fucking expo you want, anywhere. They keep it locked up.
So it says because they fly and their front limbs stretch out to the sides, that does not qualify them as dinosaurs. But they went extinct along with it. When did this happen?
I don't know.
Like when did like? 'Cause
How does a
from the
5-year-old
time
know that?
We were kids.
It's
Like
like
they were
Pluto.
dinosaurs. Yes.
see, but that's what I'm saying.
Yes. And then all of a
See, so,
sudden they
like-
say that Pluto's not a planet. Like, fuck you, Pluto's a planet. It was a planet when I was a kid. It's still a planet now.
That's what I'm saying,
I don't
though.
give a
See,
shit.
like they can just make shit up, and you're just gonna believe it. You're just gonna be, oh, fuck, it's not a dinosaur anymore. Okay, cool.
I identify as a dinosaur.
What happened? What are you reading over there?
Nothing.
He's about to fact check you.
He can fact check whatever the fuck he wants.
Well, no, like so that's the joy of the internet, right? Like if you look hard enough, you'll find someone that says that a pterodactyl is a dinosaur, right? Like eventually you'll find it.
What is a
or
dinosaur?
you'll look it up.
I know, right? What constitutes a dinosaur?
Does it have feelings? Can it commit suicide? Didn't he say that
Does
about
it?
the
Yeah.
chickens?
Does it cry? Do
Does
they
it cry? Does it identify as a chicken? Do they commit suicide?
And she's like, "That's stupid."
like,
Like,
See,
they don't
because
have
it's
feelings.
even like that
That's
argument,
stupid.
right? It's like until
Oh my
she.
God. Like, what was it? Oh, when he interviews that doctor, and the doctor was like, "Oh, well, you know, there's people that have what is it called, where they want to cut, like they don't feel like they should have two arms,
Right.
Like they're supposed to be handicapped or whatever, and they want to cut off their shit." And the doctor was like, "Well, that's stupid. That's a general. That's a
No, he
mental
said that's-
disorder.
yeah, that's a borderline-
That's a borderline mental disorder or
It's
something."
borderline
And I'm like,
cuckoo.
you don't see the
Correlation?
and no, that's not the same thing. And I'm like,
Like,
You're
Paul's
talking
over there
about
looking.
cutting
He's
off
like,
your
"Yo,
parts."
I'm gonna find that there's a real bone.
He's I played Spyro all my life. I know that there's a dinosaur.
There we go.
Show the screen. Show the screen.
It's flicking
It's
them
green.
off.
oh, you
it's
can't
green.
see it,
Oh, right there,
boo.
It's a dinosaur
It
flicking them
censored
off.
you. It's all fact check in the bottom.
It's a dinosaur flicking them off.
Yeah. So anyway,
So, Paul, how do you feel about being censored on Facebook?
Oh, that was annoying.
welcome,
you got
welcome to
censored
my
too?
world.
I didn't even do anything.
Well, that's like what happened the last time when I posted that dancing wiener and it told me that I couldn't do it. I was like, it's a dancing wiener. It's
I
a
don't even
dancing
know
hot
what I
dog.
did.
You know what you did.
You know why.
You know why.
What'd
What
you
did
do?
you do?
I didn't do.
Why don't you just
Yeah,
tell
it didn't
us
make
what you
sense.
did?
I forgot what it was.
I didn't
but
even.
it
What I called him a name, but nothing bad.
Everything is bad now.
Every name is bad.
Thinking about a name is bad.
I didn't even get that far because it just says see
Yeah,
more.
you didn't click it.
Yeah, it's like somehow it
Sorry, I don't pay attention to
understood
y'all.
the intent of what he was trying to say. Like,
But
I
it
don't know.
it didn't. It assumed his
Yeah,
intent.
yeah.
Because it can't interpret it, because when I was calling him fucking stupid names, right? Like I was like, "Oh, you look Middle Eastern, or you Middle Eastern bitch," right? Like if it understood my intent, right? He's my boy. Like I talk shit. It assumed my intention was bad,
Right.
so it fucking cut me out, right?
Is
And
it?
put me in Facebook jail.
I was really hurt.
Where's Crystal's fucking? That's cute.
I know this just
That's
wasn't,
why his laptop's closed.
yeah,
He's
it
all-
wasn't cooperating with me today.
Junior's I checked out.
Yeah.
The AI is not working.
Crystal's
I bet you
still-
9 times out of 10, all you tell your people that call in to, you tell them, "Did you shut it off and then turn it back on?"
Oh, yeah. When I was doing that job, yeah.
You unplug the Ethernet cable.
It fixes.
Yeah.
It fixes a lot.
I'm telling you, it
does.
fixes everything.
It fixed the printer for me yesterday.
That's how my phone starts acting up right away. First thing I do is volleyball.
That's what I did today when I woke
But I don't
up.
get why they don't do that to begin with.
Because
Like,
not
isn't it
everybody,
common sense?
not everybody understands that.
Well, not even that they don't understand it. Again, dude, when you're in a situation, right, and then
Oh,
you get
yeah,
you get
it doesn't
super
come to your
frustrated.
head.
Yeah.
You get super frustrated. You're like, this stupid thing doesn't want to work, and then
Why does it just work?
yeah, Chris is like, did you turn it off? I'm like, yes, I turned it off. What about the TP on the bottom of my shoe? You get all angry about nothing.
That's all it is that like they're so emotional when it gets to that point. It's like y'all were talking about earlier, right? Like if you're actually gonna shoot in a situation, right? It's the same thing. Like you don't know how you're gonna react.
Yeah, you just have to turn the gun off and on.
Yeah, there you go. Turn it off and turn it back on. Duh.
See these fucking dinosaur believers.
No, but it's just a matter of you just like going through the actual steps. And then there's also people that are like, well, then why do we have you for if, I just want to make the phone call to you and make myself feel better that someone else told me what to do. It's like, well, you could have saved yourself a 30-minute wait time if you'd have just.
I pay for Apple Care. Apple better care.
Apple doesn't care.
Apple does not care.
I don't pay for Apple Care. No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Fucking dinosaur believe.
They were called flying reptiles.
Flying reptiles.
They are flying reptiles. They're
Still
not.
looking it up.
They're not done. This is stupid.
Pissed me
told
off.
you.
It was TikTok, little kid, little 5-year-old. He's all just.
I'm
You
telling
can't
you,
believe a 5-year-old?
if you had seen some of the videos, just listening to how stupid the origin of dinosaurs is, right? As we know, as it's put in books, it's fucking stupid. It's stupid, and the only people that gained were people that had interests, archaeologists, right? Like, if millions and millions of dinosaurs existed, why, when they build brand new buildings, right, and they excavate the ground, why do we not stumble across them?
Yeah, I was always.
We're burying people 6 feet in the fucking ground, and nobody's ever stumbled across a fucking dinosaur
Well,
bone.
people too, though.
Well,
It's like
a meteor
natives and
came
everybody that were here.
all
Right.
the ground.
Why don't we
went up
find
in the
there?
air and
You know how stupid that sounds too?
Yeah, that was always my thought. It was like, yeah, like so many years have gone by and nobody on the news,
Right.
Hey,
But the
dinosaur
only
remains.
people that find them are archaeologists. Only people ever. And I'm sure there's been a random.
I mean, you hear the lefties, right? Well, are you an archaeologist? Well, then I got to hire one.
I identify as an archaeologist.
I got to hire one in order to interpret that this bone in my backyard is a damn dinosaur.
And then even if they found something, what they do is they take it and they put it in the Smithsonian. They lock it up, and you're not allowed to see it. You're not allowed to talk about it. You can't touch it. You can't do nothing with it. Then
I'm
There's
going to
a-
work for the Smithsonian.
And then they pay a company in China who fucking manufactures these bones that you see in the fucking
the witty.
the Whitty and all these places in these museums, dude. They make this shit up.
I'm gonna go tomorrow and
Let's
ask
go.
them.
Go for it. Go for it. Tell them, are there real dinosaur bones here? And they might. And then again, just like the fucking moon and all this bullshit, the sun, right? Like they're gonna tell, oh yeah, they're right there. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna prove them wrong? You're not. You can't.
Let me talk
right?
to your
Because
manager.
They fucking Karen. I was speak to your manager. But you can't. There's nothing you can do. You just gotta fucking suck it up, Buttercup, and just pretend that you believe in it. Because it's funny, like the very first dinosaur, they gave it this long ass fucking name that like it translated to Toothosaurus. And they found pieces of it, and they constructed.
That's Chomper.
They found pieces.
Big water.
Oh my God.
Why?
Bro, that was
Oh my god,
that was a gem.
Ooh, that's cool.
It's so funny. One day, Paul, you'll grow up and you're gonna be like,
No,
"Fuck
I'm never gonna stop believing in dinosaurs.
That's cute.
Never grew up.
That's awesome," because that sounded exactly,
Exactly.
like
It sounded exactly.
same like amount of echo in the room. That's cute. All right,
We're more mad about dinosaurs.
I know, y'all were like in a deep discussion
We
about dinosaurs.
weren't
I'm
this
like, how
fucking
old
passionate
are
about
y'all?
Uvalde.
Seriously.
We're
Don't talk
Roe v.
about my
Wade.
dinosaurs. Don't talk
Roe
about my
v. Wade,
dinosaurs.
Second
Take it
Amendment.
back, you T-Rex hater.
Wow.
Triceratops denier.
I just don't get why T-Rexes have such a small, tiny little arms.
Right? Like, what is the point of that? Like that doesn't make
You're supposed to
any
be intimidating.
sense.
You're supposed to be intimidating.
Oh, it's like that skit on who is it? Kevin Hart, where he's like, I'm over there trying to look all hard. He's like, I sit on the stool and I swing my legs. He's like, that's not intimidating.
I like the T-shirt with the little T-Rex and it's got the extended arms.
Yeah.
It's unstoppable.
No, but I completely
But
agree.
a lot of
That is
a
probably
lot of
the
that shit doesn't make
stupidest
any sense,
thing
and that's why
ever.
like I said,
Maybe he's a grower, not a shower.
that's Paul's excuse for everything.
Oh my God.
But it's like everything, right? Like even in the movies, how they make
Nothing's
up
real.
they make up this whole bullshit about like the T-Rex not being able to see you if you don't move. How the fuck do you know that? Right? How would anybody know that? We weren't alive back then, and if you found bones, their eyes sure as hell ain't fucking there.
Oh, you see the movie? He didn't see them.
In 3 different movies. That T-Rex is blind as
Ready for the question of the day?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. Am I going to cry?
No.
Okay, good.
You're on death row. What would be your last meal?
Ooh.
Paul's all T-Rex steak.
What would be your last meal?
Oh my God. That's like really tough.
Really?
I already know what I
Okay,
Wait,
Mr.
you
I'm
said
Mexican.
turkey?
I'll always eat fucking tacos.
You already know.
Turkey.
No, I already ate it.
Ass.
Chris already knows. I'm gonna call out my boy
Seriously?
Benjamin. Like, hey, dog, hook me up with a fucking
Carne asada with cheese.
carne asada cheese plate, bro. I'm done. I'm gonna die a happy man. I got my
Just carne
answers.
asada?
Bro, I'm a fucking beaner at heart, bro. I'll eat any.
Mexican, he comes across. No, he.
That's my dream
Yes.
meal for when I die. Carne asada with cheese.
I'm gonna put one right in your casket.
Here you go, bro.
It's for the travel cause
Smell like 3 days, but
it's gonna
Oh my
be an
God.
empty wrapper. You would have, cuz would have wanted it this way.
I would want a tomahawk steak, medium, baked potato loaded.
loaded with what?
You ask like you don't know.
I don't know. Some people
Oh,
like
with,
different stuff loaded.
Sour cream corn. I mean, sour
Corn.
corn. I mean, sour cream butter, bacon, bits, cheese.
It was lisp.
Wait, what'd you say?
He has a tongue lisp.
Tomahawk steak.
Always
Tomahawk
point
steak.
out on
Heck is that?
everybody.
I know, but it's just funny on Paul because it's like bacon bits.
That's how Mexican I am. I don't even know what that is. So.
What?
A tomahawk
Tomahawk
steak.
steak.
I don't think I've ever had one.
They're expensive.
They're
as fuck.
expensive.
I'm bougie. Or, I'm not bougie. What would you be your last meal?
I don't know.
It's
I
like
got-
it looks like a. That's how you know dinosaurs are real. If you look at that steak, it looks like a dinosaur leg.
One that you've never seen before, other than in a movie.
I don't know. I think I got 3 different choices.
You only get one.
I was gonna say.
You got
hard.
to
Are
get
they
one.
like sides?
No, just different options that I between that I can.
It's
think
all depends on what I'm dying for. If I killed somebody, I would definitely eat this.
One of my favorite things to eat is my mom's picadillo. That
I don't know if your mom will make it for you if you killed somebody. So,
She would.
oh well.
Yeah, she would.
Still her son.
Still, yeah, I
Yeah.
was the same.
And it's his last fucking meal, asshole. Like, goddamn.
that
It's not like she's condoning what he did. Fucking,
the-
I'm gonna make him this so he can kill somebody else.
and maybe Cracker Barrel, chicken fried chicken.
You and your Cracker Barrel.
Barrel.
Oh
That
my
chicken fried
God.
chicken.
How many
That's to
Cracker
die
Barrels
for.
did we pass by?
Oh my God,
going
we've
to
had
town?
Bro,
some
they're everywhere.
blood.
Chicken fried chicken from there is good.
Mine doesn't exist anymore
Oh,
because
dinosaur meat.
it was a restaurant called Casa de Dos Pedros,
Oh, yeah.
right? And every single time we gone there, I just destroyed their enchiladas. Like their enchiladas were everything. It was like a $4.99
Yeah.
buffet plate,
Yeah.
and I would go to town.
I
on those
remember. I think
enchiladas.
he ate like either between 12 and 17.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Damn.
Yeah.
Enchiladas?
Yes.
Holy
I think I was
shit.
12,
Paul does that with
13,
dicks.
14.
At the
At
same
the same
time.
time? Okay, so mine will be just like legit a stack of like crab legs.
I never had crab before.
No, oh my God.
I
Yeah, it
I
would be a
refused
stack of
for the
crab
longest time,
legs.
dude, because I would watch Crystal like she's got to have like fucking elbow room. I need like a goddamn riot shield to keep pieces of fucking crab from flying, dude. But the,
partition goes up.
The crab legs with the side of a German chocolate cake.
Oh, my mom.
well, you didn't say we get dessert too. What the fuck?
Well, you went all out with the whole plate with rice and beans and tortillas and.
My mom's gonna make that. I don't know if she did, but tomorrow's their anniversary, so
So good.
No, mine is just a German chocolate.
Maybe you
or
said it
the-
right, but then you flip it over.
And we're done. Ready?
What the fuck?
That was great.
Come on, she's a witch. Burn her at the stake.